Hey there, hi there, ho 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 there. Yeah, this is Disney Compendium, and we're back once again with another Christmas episode, number 4. This is our
Mhm.
Christmas episode. Incredible, isn't it?
That's one way to describe this movie.
Yeah. I am, as always, am your host, JJ, and over there, in the magical Christmassy town of uh, Bakersfield, California, is my co-host, Hook. How are you doing, Hook?
Pretty good, brother. Got the Hajime. It's called Red Drum now, bro. I known Eddie Guerrero for a lot of years, Cole, but I never seen nothing like this.
Or Nick, however we want to.
Hi.
Hey there. So year 1, we did Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Year 2, we did the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Correct.
Last year we did the Saturday afternoon cartoon classic Christmas episodes, where each picked a handful of Christmas episodes. And
Goof Troop, DuckTales, X-Men, and what was the other one?
I don't remember the other one. I do not remember the other one.
Yeah.
Darkwing? I think Darkwing.
Yes,
it was Darkwing.
Yes.
So yeah. So this year we decided we need to break the mold a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Disney has put out thousands of holiday movies throughout the years. Some of them and they own thousands of holiday classics nowadays. Sure. You can boot up Disney Plus. You can watch Home Alone, The Santa Claus,
Miracle on 34th Street.
Miracle on 34th Street. Yeah, Die Hard is available through Hulu or whatever. It's just, but and they've done, like I said, they've got multiple Christmas carols and all of the classics. So we decided, let's really just dig in there and pull out just a Disney holiday classic.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Nick really brainstormed. And then Nick, with all of the audacity in the world, suggested we should do the Disney classic, Jonathan Taylor Thomas tour de force, his magnum opus, if you will. Mm-hmm. I'll Be Home for Christmas, 1998. And you can tell, 1998 blew up all over this movie.
I was going to say, this is a 1998 ass movie.
There is just to lay the groundwork just a little bit. When he enters his girlfriend's house, she has a Smash Mouth poster on the wall. He is getting backstage passes to Dave Matthews. The end credits song is by NSYNC.
It's Happy Holidays, which was maybe the highlight of that movie, was that song.
Wow.
The first thing I want to ask you.
Okay.
They're going to college, correct?
Unclear.
It says Palisades College.
Yeah, it must be a community college.
Because
it's high school with ashtrays.
Because she's in a dorm.
Yeah.
His girlfriend.
Yeah.
With Smash Mouth. But there's still a kid who gets stuffed into a locker at the beginning.
Yeah, it was clearly written with. I bet you this was written as a TV show.
Yeah.
At some point. And just a lot of that stuff just kind of stuck around.
Yeah.
Everyone in this movie has a high school mentality. It's like when they're in the lunchroom, it is the lunchroom of a high school, not like a college, anything. It's not like
number one.
Yeah.
For any people out there who've gone to college, there are no lockers in college.
Yeah, right? So the dweeb friend is getting pushed in the lockers into their college. And boy, they're just going to normal classes and stuff. When they were taking their tests and stuff.
Yeah.
Just a normal high school class. Just your typical desks with a table on it and just sitting there, and it's clearly just it was clearly a high school class. It was clearly just all of it was designed to be high school, but somehow this is a college.
Do you know what my theory is? My theory is they were like, this is a high school movie.
Yeah.
Oh, but he has to get back home. Well, we can't have a high school student crossing the country.
Yeah.
Or
at some point there was a much sadder story involved with this. Like he couldn't deal with it, so he kind of just like, I need to get out of here and whatever.
Yeah.
Dad moved across country to be with his new wife, and he just said, "No, I'm staying behind."
Yeah.
Because it is unclear. The family is clearly rich, but it's unclear how.
It's like McAllister rich.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, they're loaded, but
yeah. So, all right. The conceit of the movie is as follows: Jonathan Taylor Thomas lives in California, going to college, high school,
Palisades College,
Palisades College High, college, University High School.
Yes.
But
he's in 13th grade.
He's in 13th grade, exactly. Yep. And he's just kind of an arrogant dweeb. He knows his poop don't stink, and he takes advantage of everyone around him. You have him sort of like screwing with the jocks, like give them fake ideas to go to the Viper Club.
Yeah.
Which was okay.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going there and like
there we were at the Viper Club, like, huh? What
are you guys just high on coke, partying with the upper crust of society in California?
Yep.
But you're also going to high school, university.
Yes.
So yeah, that's weird. Anyways, he doesn't really communicate with his family at all. His dad sends him plane tickets to come back to. It's New York, right? It's New York.
It is New York. His dad is Gary Cole.
Gary Cole. His dad is Gary Cole.
Yeah,
which is just sitting there watching it. It's like, Gary Cole, man, you've had quite the career. Because I think at the very same time,
this is pre-Office Space. Yes, pre-Office Space.
Yeah, but barely. Like Office Space is like 4 months later. Like,
yeah.
And like now he's just like a regular on NCIS and stuff. So
yeah, but I mean, I was thinking from Office Space and Talladega Nights.
Yeah, and he was what was Mike Brady in the Brady Bunch?
Oh movie? Yes, you're right. Okay, so he was probably doing that at the same time as this.
No, because the Brady Bunch movies were earlier in the 90s.
So like mid 90s.
Yeah, and this is late 90s. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Let's see if there's anything else. Our boy, that we had 1 hour photo.
Okay.
There's a dodgeball. He was Cotton.
Yes. Okay. There we go.
Talladega Nights.
Yep.
Pineapple Express.
Yep.
Batman Under the Red Hood animated movie.
He's
James Gordon.
He's Gordon. Okay.
Yep. And a couple of other voices. The Town That Dreaded Sundown remake. Scooby-Doo Shaggy's Showdown. The Art of Racing in the Rain, which is a sad dog movie. And he's just been in 1.5 billion TV shows. So yeah, he's the dad, and he basically bribes his arrogant ass son, because the son was he traded. Remember, this is 1998, where everything was just kind of loosey goosey with the rules and stuff. So he was able to trade in his plane tickets to New York for tickets to Cabo, which is again just one of those things like how
pre 9/11.
Yeah, pre 9/11, all this stuff. There's a lot of that in this movie too. Just a lot of like trading trading up or down or whatever. It's weird.
Yes.
So yeah, he is trying to woo his girlfriend, shockingly played by Jessica Biel,
Yes.
1998 Jessica Biel.
Seventh Heaven era Jessica Biel.
Yeah. You got to keep in mind also during this is her second movie, really, because the first one was a short film. She was in Yuli's Gold before this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so and she never really had she didn't really get a movie career until now. You know what I mean? And
Well,
even now she hasn't really do anything. She's always a TV star. You recognize who Jessica Biel is, but
she's Mrs. Timberlake.
Yeah, she's Mrs. Timberlake, and she was in what? She was in The Blade with Triple H.
Gotta hate that movie.
Uh,
She was in the A-Team movie.
She was in the A-Team movie. The Total Recall remake.
Yep.
Hitchcock.
Okay.
That one with what's his name?
Anthony Hopkins.
The Anthony Hopkins. She was Vera Miles in that. What else? What else big? Planet 51, that weird rock animated movie.
Yeah, she's also not a good actress.
The Illusionist. I love The Illusionist. She's in that. Okay. At least Stealth. Remember Stealth?
I do remember.
Did you see that movie where the plane becomes self-aware?
Yes.
It's the AI plane becomes self-aware.
Yeah, I remember that movie. She's. You're thinking oh, I'm going to cut her some slack. She's a kid in this movie. Yeah. She's learning how to act.
Yeah.
That movie came out, let's see, 24 years ago now.
Yeah.
And her acting is maybe about the same.
Yeah.
Her range?
Yeah. Let's see. Seventh Heaven started in 1996, and this movie is 1998.
Okay.
So this is 2 years into her America being aware of who Jessica Biel is.
So she was maybe the new hotness in this movie.
Yeah.
JTT's, who was kind of like Home Improvement was coming kind of
to a close.
Coming to a close. I think he might have already been off the show by this point.
Yeah, he was no longer a main character by this point.
But he was contractually obligated to Disney.
Yeah.
Do a movie.
So here you go, my man. Here's your movie. I'll Be Home for Christmas. Just real. Anyways, the dad. Long story short, the dad gives him the deal. Okay, you come back home by 6 p.m. Christmas Eve, right? Christmas Eve?
I think it's Christmas Eve, yes.
Yeah, and you get the 57 Porsche that we've worked on when you were a kid.
Right. So he's just Tim Allen again.
Yeah. Har, 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 har. I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so, too.
So, yeah, it's a Porsche 356. Beautiful car. Really is. Well worth changing your plans to go pick up, especially as anywhere between 16 to 18-year-old high school college student would love to have this car.
Can I ask you?
Okay, yeah.
I'll ask you questions since I'm not a car guy, but you are.
Yes.
This Porsche, I assume, has nice upholstery, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So is this something you would leave out in the snow?
No.
Okay. So we'll circle around to that because.
Yeah. This car is a 1957 car. It's this is World War II is barely over at this point.
Yep.
And, yeah. Clearly it's a car on loan because it only appears in 2 scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody ever drives it.
Nope.
There's no scene of Jonathan Taylor Thomas ever.
Nope.
Although I take that back, there is. There's him
imagining
himself in the car, stages. But it's the same. But they loop that footage. Whenever he thinks about it, it's just one shot.
Yes.
Of him driving down a very bright, dry road.
Yes. He took the left turn and outrun.
Yeah.
Right turn. That'd be the right turn.
Right turn.
It'd be the right turn.
So yeah. So yeah, that's the deal. He gets home by 6 p.m. Of course, everything goes wrong almost immediately because the deal that he made with the bullies, I don't know, they're just jocks. They're just Eddie and the gang,
Yeah, right.
who
Eddie the
all refer to them.
boys
Yeah, Eddie and the boys, like
with
some
the
sort of like,
Z.
yeah, like Crash and the Boys. It's just
Yeah,
like a weird like
Eddie and the Cruisers.
Eddie and the Cruisers, exactly. And so he like uh he screws them. Well, he doesn't intentionally screw them, but he screwed them over plenty of times in the past that everything catches up to him. So what happens? He finds himself uh knocked unconscious, uh
Yes,
and then wakes up dressed up as Santa Claus in the middle of the desert.
in the middle of a
Uh,
desert. I assume Mojave.
literally, yeah, literally left to die, one could only assume.
Yes.
Because again, Santa suits, I don't know if you've ever been in a Santa suit, not the most breathable
No.
article of clothing you could wear. And the hat and beard are glued on. This is attempted murder.
Yeah.
Um, and a vulture is following him around. So, and they really milk that vulture for every ounce of screen time they can get from it. I was impressed that he took the piece of paper that he found crumpled up in his suit to tell him like, "Hey, good luck talking your way out of this one, Eddie and the boys." Yeah. And he like crumples it up and throws it at the vulture, and the vulture just like shrugs, like no sells it, and just looks back at him like, "What the fuck's your problem,
You know,
man?"
Vulture. It was the point where I thought, oh, is this Vulture going to be like in the movie the whole time?
Yeah, sidekick. Vulture
No.
sidekick? No, he just eventually he finds the vulture finds its significant other, and they just walk off together. It's the weirdest end to that goof.
It's like, why does this need to be here? That's a thing with this movie a lot. Why is this in here?
This has. Do you know what the wild thing about this movie is? This has all of these sort of cinematography and writing and goofs of like Magical World of Disney, like ABC
Yes.
movie, and this is a theatrical film. This
That-
came out in theaters.
Yeah,
Like,
buddy, to see it.
yeah. And like, boy. Whew.
Yeah, you're right. Like the way it's shot, like even the quality of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is gonna run on. I'm
Yeah.
sure it did.
The way everything is presented, especially the first, before he wakes up in the desert as Santa, everything's filmed like a sitcom. Everything's
Yeah,
framed like a
absolutely.
sitcom. It's just missing the laughing track. You know, it's every ounce of it is set up like Home Improvement. It's like if I forget what Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character was in this show.
Was he not Mark?
No, Mark was the kid. Brad was the
older brother.
Yeah.
Randy.
Randy. It really comes across as like a spin-off. Like Randy goes to college. And,
Yes.
And like this is what he does, and he's in California.
Yeah.
But you know, his dad is famous. That's what would explain why he has so much money. And you know, it's like
you could swap Gary Cole for Tim Allen.
Yeah, and it feels that way. Like Tim Allen got remarried.
I was watching this movie with my wife, and she's like, "Oh my god, the fashion in this movie!" Like
when you first meet
in college, you're like, "Oh right,
yeah."
The plaid minis with the Henley,
man, it just everything is. It's nothing is more 1998 than this movie, and it's so funny. Like because there are points where you forget that this year is kind of a no man's land year for movies. You think about it. What is it? X-Men comes out next year. Like,
yep.
When you think about it in terms of like film, how films look,
it feels more innocent, like an innocent time.
Yeah, but most, especially 90s movies, don't really try to lean too heavy on what was going on in the 90s. Like, but this movie really does like to. It's like the internet's just kind of starting to become its own thing. Like you can make internet jokes and people are starting to understand it. Like because there are a handful of internet jokes, but cell phones still aren't quite a thing yet.
Beepers.
Yeah, there's a beep. There's a pager joke in the
Yeah,
middle of this thing. Um, and you know, a lot of using payphones and other people's phones and
right.
stuff, and
Yeah,
having to deal with it, because like this movie doesn't happen today. There is
no,
no universe where he's having all of this troubles and like in earnest, and not just have it resolved like the minute he's traipses out of the desert into a major city, where he's just like, all right, well, I'll just find like a freaking library, get
yeah,
in there and use the internet for, 10 minutes and send an email saying, hi, Dad, here's the problem.
yep,
I am earnestly trying to get home, but, you know,
yeah. I
it's,
mean, that's a lot of the movies now where it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
anything that older than like
yeah,
20 years, it's like this
yeah.
can be solved with a cell phone.
Yeah, that's why so many movies these days, especially horror movies, like to sort of place them in the 90s, because you get rid of all of those problems. Because it's really hokey when it's like if somebody pulls out their phone, it's like, oh, we don't have any service out here, it's
Yeah,
just like it's your only conceit, because it's the only way you can explain away any of this stuff, and it becomes sort of a trope in every movie, and people want to kind of start to do away with tropes, like as much as they can, like those kind of hokey tropes.
to be
Um,
fair, though, in 1998, there were cell phones.
there were cell phones, and you would think the way this family operates that
He
they
would
would all
have
have
one.
cell phones. Like,
Yeah, he would
yeah,
have one.
yeah, but
The big brick boys.
or like those early, like it's 98, so it would be like those Motorola's with the fold down mouthpiece and
Yeah,
the extending aerial,
yeah,
uh, like that. It's like, I mean, Saved by the Bell had been off the air by this point, and Zach had been using a cell phone throughout the entirety of that series. So,
yeah.
um, so yeah, it's weird. It's a weird little thing. It's
It's
not. There's one. The only like enjoyable like character in this movie is the weird van guy. That's the
Casey Jones.
criminal. What?
Casey Jones.
Yeah.
That's Casey
Uh,
Jones, right?
I don't think so. Uh,
Isn't it?
I don't think so.
I
I don't
thought it
think
was
so.
him for a minute. I thought it was a dude to play Casey Jones.
No, no,
Okay, okay, then I'm
no.
off.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it, but I thought, like, is that Casey
I
Jones?
wish I read. Was it? What was the character's name? Nolan, right?
Nolan.
Andrew Lauer. What did he play other than this? It's always good when he's like, oh, he was in the Doors. UCLA student. Never mind. Uh, da, da, da. Oh boy, his career really went
Yeah.
absolutely nowhere. Uh, the 2005. Nope, that's not it. That's not. Hang on. Boy, just a lot of. Oh, he was in Iron Man 3 as satellite technician.
Wait, was he the guy in the van
I have no idea. It
where
just says Iron Man 3 satellite technician. I can't.
where he's like the big Mark Tony Stark? And he's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe. Yeah, there's nothing. Only a handful of things that he's done has a Wikipedia page, if that tells you anything. He was on Born on the 4th of July, which is clearly the biggest movie he's been
yeah.
in.
But okay, but he does look
What
like
about
a
TV
Jones guy, right?
wise? Has he been in? Oh, he was one of the main characters in Caroline in the City.
Okay, so which is around this time.
Yeah, it's 95 to 99, so
Yeah.
exactly during this time. He was in 74 episodes of that.
So he was a regular. Well,
Yeah.
so wait, so like put long hair on him. He's Casey Jones. Though.
He played himself in Wipeout. He was a contestant on Wipeout. So that tells you how good his
How things had gone.
yeah.
Now you said he's the only semi-enjoyable character.
Yeah,
Did you
just
enjoy
because
his character?
no,
Because
I didn't really enjoy his character, but he
okay,
had like the one good joke that like where he's like calls like Mrs. Claus a
oh,
whore.
that
Oh.
time and ho.
Yeah.
That is the two lines of this movie, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's another one down the road where I'm like, what?
Yeah. That line that got an audible laugh out of me. Unclear if I thought it was funny or I was just
Yeah.
like, what
Oh,
is this? What is this movie?
it
That
it
two-time
popped
award?
me, bro. It
Yeah,
popped me. I was
yeah,
like,
it was good.
what?
It was good. That character was terrible, but like at least at least he got like could make me giggle. Like it was
Yes.
just kind of like this is like the only sort of like comedy in this movie is this weird drugged up criminal who's now who's, who's handing out all of his stolen goods to the children at the orphanage or the children's hospital.
To trick
Uh,
that doofus cop.
yeah. No, but this movie is just sort of just this weird road trip movie where he's both simultaneously trying to get home and he discovers that his girlfriend is trying to get home too, and she is with
His
the
first
king of the
kiss.
bullies that
Yes.
is responsible for him waking up in the desert.
I don't know who the
Uh,
kid who plays the bully is, but he looks like that guy in every movie.
yeah, it is. It is. Um, Adam something or other, Lavorna or something. He was
Some Mighty Ducks, wasn't he?
what?
Was he in Mighty Ducks?
Let's look, shall we?
I think he was.
No, he was in Monkey Trouble.
Oh well,
Uh,
that's halfway.
the Beautician and the Beast.
Oh Lord.
Uh, let's see. He was basically he was a main character in the late era Seventh Heaven. So like immediately after this movie, he becomes a recurring character uh, in Seventh Heaven. So, and that's sort of the extent of his.
So he was already he and Jessica Biel already had a thing.
Yeah,
So maybe that's how he got the job. I
I
don't
can
know.
only assume.
He looked like he has a very punchable face, so that works
Yes.
for the character.
Yeah, he does a really good job at being just the most unlikable human being on the planet.
Yeah.
So bravo, great casting.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like it's just a series of unfortunate events, but like he's in a weird way, he's like mentally trading up in every situation he gets himself into. Like, you know, they got
It's a paperclip.
yeah, yeah. So
He's
I'm trying
also
to
an
think of
you don't really root for him though.
no, because he's never doing anything a good way. Like even getting like even by the way he gets to like New York is just the shadiest stinking thing. Because what was it? It was so okay. He gets out of the desert and then he leaves some voicemails. That's when he gets picked up by
The old ladies.
yeah, the old ladies. Who just a bunch of old people jokes, then a vomit joke a couple of times, kick him out. That's when he gets almost killed by the
Stoner guy
yeah
who eats a tomato off the floor of his van.
for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
It's very unsettling. Yeah, and like so from so then like after he does the whole plot to get to the children's hospital to hand out. He gets out of the ticket by sweet copping the cop, telling him that, oh, we just have a van full of gifts that we're going to give to a children's hospital. The cop,
Which is stolen electronics, by the
which
way.
is stolen product. They're just trying to talk their way out of a speeding ticket, which leads to them going to the children's hospital, which leads to the cop coming with them to the children's hospital, giving all of the stolen product to the children, leading to a child telling this a migrant child telling a
Which they lean into. You tell
yeah
he's Hispanic if you didn't know.
leading to him telling the story of how he wants to go see his massive family. Get it? Haha, because he's Hispanic child.
Did you
Okay.
did you examine that scene with the electronics, the big pile of them?
I mean, I meant to go back and look at all of the stuff that was there, but
there's an N64 in there, and he's giving.
Is there?
I think the N64. Like I saw it with Nintendo. Like, oh, it has to be N64.
Yeah, it would have to
be kids like, oh, here's your Showtime rotisserie grill.
Yeah. The last present is then he tries to give the migrant child is the vacuum. The portable vacuum, and he's like, "No, I just want it." And then you get that, and then you cut to an extended goof of them, of all three of them, the criminal, the cop, and JTT, all on the payphone. It's perfect rack of 3 payphones.
Yes.
Inside the exact room that all of the children are in the children's hospital.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell's going on with this children's hospital.
Also, good thing that there was a children's hospital in the next town.
Yeah.
Um,
But so the criminal has a change of heart and he's going back home.
Yep.
Then so he doesn't get to go finish the trip that he was about to take. The cop then comes up with the wily idea to have Santa Claus try to sweet talk his wife into taking him back after kissing another woman.
Yep.
At I forget, the restaurant had a really stupid name and I can't
it was
remember.
some Okie diner.
Yeah.
But the big thing is he goes with him on the road trip. This cop.
Yeah. Yeah.
This cop is a Colorado state police officer.
Yes.
They travel to Nebraska in his cruiser,
in his police cruiser. So cool, man.
Yeah, he's like Buford T. Justice.
Yeah.
Or jurisdiction.
Yeah. So obviously here's all this stuff happens. Then he gets helps the cop. The cop gets him a bus ticket. He gets on the bus.
I want to back up a little bit.
Okay.
For two things. Number one, the girl, the wife is actually the most likable character of the movie. The cop's wife. Secondly,
I want to say when they make up at the end and she gets all like, oh well, it's like at least it's us or whatever, that whole thing at the end, and they start kissing and stuff. Like the way she sold that was actually she did it really well. Like it really was like she was happy about it.
Yeah, and when she tells him like, hey, you know that friend you were talking about who has a friend's girlfriend, you should. Yeah. I think he should get like she knew who he was talking. But the part where they go in and he's singing the song to the girl, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes, I will make it up to you underneath the velvet skirt underneath the Christmas tree. That line, what the actual hell?
Oh, they're going to Pound Town under the Christmas tree.
What in God's name was that line? I had to pause the movie, rub my scalp. Even thinking about that line, like, this line, somebody wrote that line for this movie, and it's like,
This is a kids movie, man. Is it though? I guess.
I think it was it Touchstone or was it Disney?
Buena Vista.
By Buena Vista, so
it's Disney proper, just like under their.
So that's a line in that movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, anyways, the scheme. Okay, so he sees on TV that Jessica Biel and Eddie are Douchey McTurd Sandwich is are spending the night at a novelty Bavarian village.
Correct.
In the middle of Iowa, I think, or Nebraska or something. I forget.
Good thing that reporter was there.
Yeah.
And he happened to look up.
So he looks up at the right moment when he sees Eddie kissing her underneath the mistletoe. Now he's got a dual purpose of getting to New York and just blasting Eddie when it's just fist right to the jaw.
Gets on the bus
and needs to trick the bus. Because keep in mind, he hasn't learned any lesson yet. Like, despite him, he's slow. He's learned lessons. He's a slightly better person, but he's still scheming in the most criminal ways possible. And like, he should be in prison by the end of this movie.
Yes.
Like, because he's actually just being a con man throughout this entire movie. So he ends up stealing the barbecue sauce and the meat from the.
There's a dude on the bus.
Yeah.
Holding a raw ass piece of meat.
Yeah, making a sandwich, pouring barbecue sauce on it, and like rubbing it with his feet. Yeah.
Loving it's a weird.
Yeah, it's a creepy moment. But anyways, he gets a cooler.
Yeah.
Makes it writes like, human organ, liver transplant, all that kind of stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like, is this yours? Is it so? It gets the whole bus to convince the bus driver to go to this Bavarian village. Which is very like you'd think somebody would be like, there's no hospital there.
Yeah.
it's a novelty town. They want to put a hospital in the middle of this like Disneyland.
It
Like
is it is like one of those Hallmark Christmas villages that don't exist in real life.
yeah, exactly. Because the entire town is Bavarian themed.
Yep.
Everyone's wearing lederhosen. Everything has like, yeah, you may have like a little Denmark or something
Sure.
in your town, but it's not like, Fantasyland at the Magic Kingdom. It's not like you're hanging out under the Matterhorn.
Yeah.
It's just kind of vaguely themed this way. It's got all the restaurants are that. It's not like everybody is in lederhosen and like little caps with feathers in them and
Right.
stuff.
Looks like the guy from the climber from Price is Right.
Yeah.
He's dressed like that guy.
Yeah. So this scheme works because of course it does. The whole thing is that he's a smooth talker and is able to talk himself out of any situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And so he ends up finding the hotel room that she's in with him. He finally gets in there. Eddie Douchebag comes out of the bathroom with only in a towel and really kind of plays it out like they slept together, like
right.
all that stuff.
And then JDT rips his towel off.
Yeah.
And you almost see this dude's nads. You see like half a butt cheek, kind of.
Yeah.
What? This is the other like what?
Yeah. JTT accidentally blurts out that half the reason he's getting back home is he needs to be back by 6 to get the car. So Jessica Biel gets angry at him, storms off, and takes his seat on the bus.
Which is allowed. She's like, I'm taking his seat. And once they find out he tricked them, everybody on the bus, like, yeah, that's fine. Like, what?
Yeah, again, pre 9/11, so nobody cares. So yeah, she gets on the bus, and says, there we go. So Jake and Eddie like buddy up, and like he starts driving him just a little way he gets him to Wisconsin, right? Like Nebraska. I can't remember.
Did you ever at this point? Did you go? Why is he driving him?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they actually he even realizes that. When Jonathan Taylor Thomas is because they're driving, they're buddies, they're like singing along together, and they're kind of they're cool now, man. Yeah. And Jonathan Taylor Thomas is like, I'm excited, like I can get back home, I'm gonna make it by 6, I'm gonna get the Porsche, I'm gonna win over Allie again, and then Eddie is like, you're right, get out of my car.
Why would I do this for you?
Yeah. Make you this sucks. I don't like this. Get out, man. I drove you to. I do like it. He's like, I drove you to Wisconsin. Like that should be good, man. Like, see ya, and drives off. And then, his story arc ends in just a few minutes, where he shit talks some cops that are dressed as Christmas trees,
but not even like move it, tinsel
balls or something.
Yeah.
Like. Move your balls or whatever, stuff like that. They turn around and they're mad and they just like march at him.
And they throw him, and so he's locked up, or he's thrown to the back of a squad car.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know what he did. Like, outside of just being a jerk, that wouldn't be like arrestable.
Listen, just because anyone douchebag is a douchebag.
It's like Ajax. Maybe it's Ajax from the Warriors, and we just didn't get the rest of that scene.
Like, this movie did nothing to not reinforce ACAB. So I'm just saying.
Yes. So yeah, he makes his way to Wisconsin, where he's
in a 4K for
he gets in a Santa-based marathon that has like every Santa is just morbidly obese or like active. Like one of them's eating pizza.
Full bloating, one's smoking.
Yeah, one's smoking. I like the other one where they have like it's like Uganda, yeah, or whatever. Remember?
Oh, like Kenyan,
yeah.
That was hella racist.
Yeah, like this super racist joke in the middle of this movie. Yeah, you have this like Kenyan guy in like a red like unitard, but with like it just happens to have a Santa hat and Santa beard, because the rules are you get $1,000 if you cross the finish line of this 4K, if you come in first in this 4K, but you have to be wearing the hat and the beard.
Yes.
And so he's talking to the one guy that helps, like, pays his fee to get into
Here's a
the
sad story.
yeah, there's a sob story and all that stuff. So the racing in it, crazy montage of 4K with just like tragedy and people running into each other. There's a dog that's registered. Somebody paid $10
Yeah.
for this dog to run into this in this 4K. And like there's a a bunch of Santas get distracted by grandmas handing out milk and cookies at one of the
Yes.
checkpoints.
There's
Uh,
a very
that perfect, refreshing 4K beverage of milk.
There's a very bosomy nun that
Yeah,
it's weird.
yeah.
Jesus loves Santa.
Jesus loves Santa, and she's jumping around, and the priest like looks at her like, yeah, really, really weird thing. So, anyways, it comes down to Kenyon smashes into a sign, takes himself out of the race. So it's down to the one very nice Santa man and JTT, and they have a big sprint at the end. JTT wins, gets his $1,000, cashes his check, and the cabbie explains that that's the mayor, and every year he always wins, and he always uses that $1,000 to buy turkeys for families that can't afford it. So JTT returns back to town,
Yeah.
gives the mayor the $1,000, and then calls his sister to explain that he's not going to make it. And uh, she realizes he's really in trouble and really means it when he doesn't really give a crap about the Porsche.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. I just can't do it. So she buys him a ticket with
Birthday money?
with her birthday money that she's been saving for years.
It's a typical 90s younger
Yeah.
sibling where I'm antagonistic towards you for no reason.
Yeah, I'm antagonistic towards you, but I do love you because you're my brother, and vice versa,
Yeah.
So she buys him the ticket, but makes him have like a secret passcode, which leads to a really good joke where it's like, because he knows he doesn't have his ID.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Oh, we can come up with a password. Okay, that's a good idea." And so so it's like, "Oh, I smell," and it's that Simpson. It was basically that Simpsons bad Mo
My butt
prank call.
smells and I have a smiley butt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was basically that. And she's like, "Okay, great. So you are, whatever McDevitt or whatever the hell their name was."
Yeah.
Okay, I just need to see your ID. And he's like, "But we had that password. Still need to see your ID, buddy. It's like, there's rules, man. You're getting on an airplane. Like, this is still, again, pre 9/11, but they still, like, weren't just going to let anybody get on an airplane."
Right. Now, but right before this, when he's counting the money in the cab, before he goes and gives it back to the mayor,
Yeah.
his face throughout the movie, he looks like a demented elf.
Yeah.
He's off-putting.
Yeah. No, there's a reason why he never became the next big thing in Hollywood after this. He's like, he was like, the cute heartthrob growing up on Home Improvement, but like the older he got, the more clear it's like, oh, he just can't really pull off smoldering or anything like that. So there's nothing.
He's got very sharp cheekbones.
Yeah. And he's also, the way he's counting the money is very like, how old are you again? Are you supposed to be like 18 or 19? And you're just like, woo! So, anyways, he can't get on his plane, so he just sneaks onto the plane like a weirdo
in a dog crate.
In a dog crate. There's a fart joke there because the dog's farting.
Yeah,
that's good. Again, he steals a sleigh and attempts to ruin a parade, a Christmas parade, just to get home.
He does ruin it.
Yeah, he ruins a Christmas parade to get home. Like, he still hasn't learned anything except for he does get home, but he sees Jessica Biel first, and then they have their moment, and then he waits till just after 6 so he doesn't win the Porsche, and
so the family enjoy his meal.
Yeah,
but before this, they almost kill carolers twice.
Yes, twice. Just this is a weird movie in the sense where it's almost something. There's bits and pieces in here where it's like, if somebody gave this script a few more rounds, he probably could have created a semi-decent like Christmas movie, but instead this just feels like a first draft that they filmed.
this could have been a Jingle All the Way, where it's like, yeah, it's bad, but it's kind of fun to watch it every Christmas.
I wish that his adventure was more chaotic.
Yeah.
I wish there was more, like, it would have been funnier if there was more, like, destruction, I guess, or something, like.
Yeah, or if he, like, had any redeeming qualities.
Yeah. There's never a point where it's like with Arnold Schwarzenegger in, like, Jingle All the Way or something, where it's like he's a D-bag, but it's you, as the viewer, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And that's where it goes. It's like, well, we know Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just silly to see him as a dad for this everyman dad.
Yeah.
And doing this. Like, his redeeming quality isn't necessarily the character, but just how you perceive him anyways. Still at this time, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was just, on like, Teen Beat cover boy. There was no.
Yeah, it was like denim flannel boy that you hung up on your wall.
Yeah, he was just the cover boy for every other issue of Disney Adventures magazine.
Yes, he was. He was in all of them. I mean, keep in mind, he was the voice of young Simba.
Simba, yeah. This pretty much is it, isn't it? Like,
his dad tries to get him hard. He's like, no.
Yeah, he's like, no. And you're like, shut up.
Shut up, Dad, you idiot. Get wet for Caitlin, too. I'm not sharing.
But, yeah.
The end of the movie is not important.
No, it's a bad movie. It's just a straight bad movie. It's borderline unwatchable. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this movie. It's funny too, because this is pretty much it for Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
After this, he has effectively no true career.
He did Man of the House with Chevy Chase.
Or
Ted Danson.
I don't.
Chevy Chase, or he did some with Chevy. Another movie.
Here's his filmography is very short, and I can just start rattling off stuff if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
Out of the gate, his first film role is young Simba.
Okay, well, that's yeah.
This doesn't count. It says he did. He was a voice in Pom Poko, which is a 1994 Studio Ghibli movie. Except that dub doesn't come out until 2005. So he doesn't come out until much later. There's Man of the House in '95, so that's way earlier than this. And that's with Chevy Chase and Farrah Fawcett. Also in '95, he does Tom and Huck.
Oh, that's right. Yep, that was another Disney.
Yeah, and then he did The Adventures of Pinocchio.
Oh,
in '96, where he was Pinocchio, the live-action weird Pinocchio.
That was a bad movie.
That was very bad.
Yeah.
'97, he does Wild America, which is a movie that absolutely nobody saw and nobody remembers. So, I'm trying to think if there's anyone else in that. I think Danny Glover is in that movie or something. Yeah.
This is when Danny Glover's under contract with Disney as well.
Must be.
You're going to do Angels in the Outfield, and we got you for one more thing.
I woke up early the day I died, but he was just Boy at Beach, so that's great. I'll Be Home for Christmas. Speedway Junkie. Walking Across Egypt. There you go.
He's a narrator, right, in that.
I think he's Wesley Benfield.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a documentary or something.
No, it is not. Common Ground. The Tangerine Bear, Home in Time for Christmas, is a 48-minute television film. Tilt-A-Whirl in 2005, where he is Customer 3. Through the Mobius Strip, which is a Chinese 3D CGI movie. He did the voice of that. He is going to be in an upcoming Descendants movie.
Oh, God.
So where he's playing a voice role in that. And let's see. And then his TV stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
The Adventures of Spot, which was that children's book series.
Yes.
He was the voice of Spot in 26 episodes of that.
Okay.
A show called The Brady's as an American. Oh, yeah. Remember The Brady's? It was like a 1990 reboot of The Brady Bunch, but they're like all adults.
I absolutely don't, but that sounds rotten.
He played Macaulay Culkin in 2 episodes of In Living Color. He played Randy Taylor in 179 episodes of Home Improvement. Scarecrow Jr. in something called The Oz Kids. He was in an episode of Ally McBeal.
Okay.
He was in 5 episodes of the Wild Thornberries.
Okay.
He was in an episode of Smallville.
Guess who?
A character named Ian Randall.
Bruh.
Let's see. He was in an episode of The Simpsons, an episode called Dude, Where's My Ranch? 8 Simple Rules. He was in 3 episodes of that. He was in an episode of Veronica Mars and 4 episodes of Last Man Standing. And that's sort of been his thing. And he also directed 3 episodes of Last Man Standing. So
Is that that's show Tim Allen, right?
yes, that's Tim Allen's new thing. It's just Home Improvement, but not.
But he leans into the conservatism.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has a vlog for his Sportsman's Warehouse store where he just talks about how the youth of today sucks. And that's sort of how the book ends the episodes with lessons.
TimAllen.com.
Yeah. There was a millennial joke in this, which was very weird to hear.
Yeah.
Where Eddie was just like, I'm a millennial of like, wait a minute.
Yes, because it's when Jessica Biel is rocking out to Aqua in the car.
Yeah.
Aqua.
Yeah, and the credits has NSYNC.
Which again, maybe the best part of the movie. Because that's a good Christmas song.
Yeah, it's a good Christmas song. So yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, this effectively, I wonder if this is what killed his career or something, because it was a major. Let's see. I'll Be Home for Christmas made $3.9 million in its opening weekend, finishing 6th at the box office. At the end of the run, the film grossed $12 million against a $30 million budget.
Woo!
Let's see. At Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 23% based on 43 reviews, with an average rating of 4 out of 10. The site's critical consensus, neither parent nor child will find any merriment in this mess. Roger Ebert gave the film 1 star and described the film as Pleasantville made from antimatter, saying the film is about people who seem to be removed from a 50s sitcom so they can spread cliches, ancient jokes, dumb plotting, and empty, cheerful, sanitized gimmicks into our world and time. Christopher Noel, though, gave the film, he's the, I forget what film I'm saying. Drinkhacker.com, okay. Called the film surprisingly engaging and gave it 3.5 stars.
No.
No, it's absolutely not. There's something, we usually talk about the movies that came out. Let's see if any other Christmas movies came out in 1998, shall we?
Yeah. So here's our takeaway.
Yeah.
Don't watch this freaking movie.
Yeah, it's bad. It's incredibly bad. It's not fun. You can watch it for free on Disney Plus, and you shouldn't. Like, we made the mistake of doing it as a joke, and there's no jokes to be had.
I can't, like, after watching it, I was like, I don't know what emotion I feel. I know it's not a good emotion.
Yeah.
But it's an emotion.
Yeah. All right, here's some Christmas movies. All Dogs Go to Heaven Christmas Carol came out this year.
Okay. So
that's probably a better movie. A Bug's Life. That's not a Christmas movie, but it's just a really good movie. The Psycho remake, that counts, right? Jack Frost came out this year, the Michael Keaton one.
The end of his first run,
Yeah. Star Trek Insurrection. That's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, sure.
Prince of Egypt. I mean, that's, why not?
Yeah, Tommy Tagline.
Wow. So really, those are your Christmas movies this year. Unless something came out in October.
Yeah.
Sabrina Goes to Rome, which, okay. Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky.
Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Which he wasn't in.
Nope.
Because he's young Simba.
Yeah. Yeah, so really just nothing. Richie Rich's Christmas Wish.
Was Macaulay Culkin in that one?
No. Who plays Richie Rich in this?
Oh my God, JJ. I want you to do a we got to look at some of the '98 movies, dude.
Okay.
We got to look at some of them.
Okay. Anyways, David Gallagher played Richie Rich in that movie,
Okay.
who you would know from Seventh Heaven. This is a Seventh Heaven heavy year.
I mean, Disney really wanted that teen audience at the time.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm still in the '90s, so do you want to just want me to look at the top grossing movies of the '90s?
I will. Yeah.
Do you know what the highest grossing movie of the '90s, 1998 was?
Was it Blade?
It was not.
Okay.
It was Armageddon.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
The number 2 highest grossing movie of the year, Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, so those are. I like both those movies.
Number 3,
yeah,
Godzilla. What? You're not going to talk about Godzilla?
I saw the movie for my birthday. I just graduated from high school. Shows you how old I am. But let's go watch Godzilla. I'm a big Godzilla guy.
Yeah.
Went there.
Would you like to know when I saw 1998 Godzilla to really put context, the age gap between the two of us?
Sure, go ahead.
It was my final year of middle school, and we went on a vacation to go see a field trip to go see a movie, and we saw Godzilla.
So, Godzilla.
Yeah. Number 4, There's Something About Mary.
Okay, so yeah, now it's sort of coming to focus about the year that was 1998.
Yes. Number 5 is A Bug's Life.
You know what? Bug's Life is an underrated freaking movie, man.
I like Bug's Life an awful lot.
Me too.
Number 6, Deep Impact.
That's right, because you had Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Deep Impact, yeah.
You know, here's the thing. Deep Impact is actually the better movie.
Of the two, yes, it's the better movie. It's got Robert Duvall in it, so
and
automatically makes it a better movie.
The waters have receded.
Yeah. Elijah Wood is in it.
Elijah Wood and
Téa Leoni, Vanessa Redgrave.
Yes,
it's a good movie.
Dies,
and it's like a Steven Spielberg executive producer movie because it's a DreamWorks movie.
Yeah, it's a weird movie, but I like it.
Number 7, Mulan, a movie we've talked about.
Yeah.
Number 8, Dr. Dolittle.
The Eddie Murphy one.
No, it just so happens that the original Dr. Dolittle was a big hit in 1990. Yes, the Eddie Murphy one.
Yeah, so we have Rex Harrison, Eddie Murphy, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Number 9, Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, that's right. That's when Gwyneth Paltrow was still a thing. People didn't. Easy.
And number 10, Lethal Weapon 4.
It's a Lethal Weapon movie.
Yeah.
That's the one with Chris Rock in it.
Yes, because I think it's one of the.
Jet Li's the bad guy.
Mel Gibson, Jandy Glover, Joe Pesci, Rene Russo, Chris Rock, and Jet Li.
Yeah, Jet Li's the bad guy in that movie.
Anything else from 1998 you want to talk about?
I have a couple pulled up here.
Okay.
I'm going to give you I'll give you 5.
Okay.
Number 1, Rounders.
Rounders, yeah.
Good movie, man.
Yeah, I like Rounders.
Remember, it started that whole thing with poker. People are obsessed with poker.
Yeah.
Where it's that's when the World Series of Poker got televised and the World Poker Tour.
It was a time before we realized that Edward Norton really wasn't to be trusted.
Yes. A movie that got mentioned by Roger Ebert, Pleasantville.
Yeah, Pleasantville.
I like Pleasantville.
I haven't seen it in a very long time, but it's also a very impressive movie.
Yes.
There's because when you go back and look at the tree that's on fire, you got to think about this is 1998 and CG effects were still kind of figuring themselves out. And it's just it just goes to show you how impressive the filming of that movie was, where they're able to not have a hiccup in the fire effect on the tree at the black and white scene. It's very cool.
It's also just oddly dark.
Oh, it's very dark. It's sort of I don't even know if it's necessarily oddly dark because that was clearly the intention.
Yeah, but it just you think you know what it is, and it's
definitely not.
We'll go lighter here. Batman Sub-Zero.
The second. That's the second animated
After
movie
Mask of the Phantasm.
after Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah. That's okay.
It's all right.
It's hard to it's really hard to catch up to Mask of the Phantasm, which is just one of the best Batman movies of all time, not just animated.
Yeah, I know it's great.
Yeah.
Two more. Ronin.
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 Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good man, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just a good feel good movie. American History X.
Oh yeah, very classic. And it's not Michael Mann, it's John Frankenheimer.
Okay.
Was Ronin, which is
Do you want to grab 5 randomly?
Yeah, because like Rush Hour came out.
I like Rush Hour.
Rush Hour is really good. I liked Rush Hour, and that's just it's genuinely, it still stays funny.
It is, man. It's
Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain.
Hulk Hogan, right?
Hulk Hogan, brother.
Oh god.
Where he got a wig and wore it.
That's right.
Wrestling.
He wore that wig in what match?
The Randy Savage match, I do believe.
The one where he beats Macho for the belt after Macho beats Sting at Spring Stampede.
Yeah. Boy, yeah, that really.
Can't remember my wife's social security number, but I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Bulworth came out this year.
Bulworth's a crazy movie.
Yeah, but like in a good way.
Yeah. It had that song by, was it Maya or Aaliyah?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like it's directed by Warren Beatty, but also stars Warren Beatty.
And it has Halle Berry, but like peak hotness Halle Berry.
Yeah, this is pre-X-Men Halle Berry.
Right, yeah.
Like Sean Astin, Michael Clark Duncan's in it at one point. Yeah. Don Cheadle, Oliver Platt. Like it
was. Yeah, I haven't seen Bulworth in a long time.
Yeah. There's something else that was. I'm gonna dig through. Oh, Truman Show. Truman Show came out in.
Truman Show is, as much as I love the first 2 Ace Ventura movies, or just both Ace Ventura movies, I have just a soft spot for the Truman Show.
I think it's Jim Carrey's best movie.
It holds up really well.
Yeah, it holds up really well. Jim Carrey's doing half his goofy Jim Carrey thing, and he's like halfway into his like serious coming out. Like after this, Jim Carrey starts taking more and more serious roles,
like Eternal Sunshine, and
it's like it's a fine blend of those two things. I love Truman Show.
And also, like Pleasantville, kind of dark.
Yeah, really, yeah. I'm just gonna mention one more, just because make it a nice even 6. But this is also the year. This is also the year that the X-Files movie came out.
I will mention one more as well, because first X-Files movie, pretty good.
Yeah, and you have to watch it.
Yes.
If you don't watch the X-Files movie, the season that takes place before makes absolutely no sense.
The one I'm going to mention is a movie that people like a lot. It's Fear and Loathing.
Fear and Loathing, yeah. It's not one of my favorites.
It's crazy. Like
it's crazy.
I was going to mention Big Lebowski, but it's just you watch Fear and Loathing, like Hunter S. Thompson kind of sucked. Actually, didn't kind of suck.
No, Hunter S. Thompson really sucked as a dude.
He really sucked.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a weird year for movies. Like
it is. You can really tell where people like are too. Like there's just like it's this weird mix of like there's like for every like action movie, there's an equally weird like reboot or throwback, like the Avengers, not like Thor and Iron Man, but the British,
Fiennes,
yeah.
What else came out? Like God,
else.
What was the throwback that was out this year? God, I just saw it.
It's like, and I think the Italian Job was just around this time too.
Yeah. Mask of Zorro.
Mask of Zorro, yeah. That's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
I really liked Mask of Zorro, yeah. But that was also
but then like there's also a bunch of those like weird, gross out like bro comedies and stuff are starting to peak up.
Like American Pie and
Yeah, they're starting to crop up, and like you're pushing into the 2000s where everything just starts to take shape, and movies haven't really changed significantly since then.
it's got this.
But there's also like this major, like weird, like a lot of romantic period pieces and
Yes.
things, like a lot of just like movies with a lot of like costuming and staging and
Costume porn movies. Yes.
yeah.
Well,
You know, this is the year where Saving Private Ryan and Shakespeare in Love were like two of the biggest hits of the year.
right.
You know?
And then I guess then like I remember like I think I Can't Hardly Wait came out this year. So
I think so, yeah.
There's this weird what it is like in the mid 90s there was this very strong emphasis on safe high school teen movies.
Yeah.
And those are still around.
Yeah.
At the end, but now it's getting into okay. Now we have Enemy of the State and like the Negotiator.
Yeah,
it's a weird freaking year for movies.
It's weird because you start to see the action movies start to reach that PG-13 stage.
Yes,
and you're starting to see the comedies creep up to the R stage.
Yes,
because There's Something About Mary.
Yes, was the first gross out comedy, really.
Yeah. And so you're starting to see, because it used to just be the action movies were the R-rated, like there's going to be blood and gore and violence. And the comedies were just like, there may be a sex joke or something. Maybe like Ghostbusters or something, like blowjob that's just kind of vague and up there. But it starts to flip. It's action movies are starting to even horror movies starting to do like trending towards the PG, because this is the year like H2O, Halloween.
Yeah, H2O.
Which was just more of a tamer Halloween. Like it was more of a joke. Halloween was a joke at this point.
Yeah, I think 13 Ghosts. What's a Blair Witch this year, though?
I think Blair Witch is next year, 99. Okay.
But there's also like you're creeping into like the experimental horror. Like I think.
Yeah. I think that's what's happening is that like the only horror you're going to want to watch is going to be something independent.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really changed much. Mainstream horror is not really something that's worth watching most of the time. You want to see something by a studio you've never heard of from a guy you've never heard of, or something like that.
Exactly.
Or you want something like a Blumhouse movie where it's like they only gave them $1 million to make a movie, so they made most of it.
It's like okay, like freaking like the Dark Castle films are right around this period, right?
Yeah.
Like the remake, like 13 Ghosts, and that stuff. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, it's like it's this year where it's like it's see where you're going.
The scales are about to tip.
Yeah.
But then by the time you hit 2001, when after 9/11 happens, everything changes in Hollywood.
Yep.
Up until now, we're going into the history of movies. We've given up on our holiday stuff. We're going to just talk about sort of the story of the summer blockbuster. If you look what happened, look, even in this movie and movies leading up to this, who are the bad guys in like 9 out of 10 like action movies or like high school movies, college movies? It's the cops.
Yeah.
The cops are always the bad guys, whether it be Dukes of Hazzard or any comedy, or like the good cop was like the cop that wasn't like the other cops. It was Sergeant
Mahoney was a good cop.
Yeah. Like but now after 9/11 happens, you see that flip where, everyone's like, we've all fallen in love with the first responders, and the cops sort of shove themselves into that first responders grouping. When we say first responders, most people usually meant the fire department and the ambulance drivers and things, but the cops were like, we were there too. So now you go post 9/11 and so many movies, the cops are always the good guys. Yep. There's never a, this person is a good person at heart and the cops are just hassling him. It's not like First Blood anymore. First Blood wouldn't happen nowadays, but like
Serpico.
Yeah. So that 9/11 changes movies kind of fundamentally forever, especially in this country. So obviously, especially in this country.
Yeah.
But not necessarily for the better. It sort of stripped away so many movies leading up to it were like political, like intrigue of like, we understand the corruption of the police and how they're using their power to manipulate. You don't really see that anymore. And when you do, it becomes this thing, and then you have to deal with the internet talking about another woke movie for the fires.
Well, for instance, like there's a movie that came out this year that's kind of dealing with like corruption, and I know Kevin Spacey sucked, but Negotiator is a good movie.
Yeah,
and that is like corruption in the police department.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, 1998 was clearly the tipping point where we're heading into the new millennium, where things just start to take off. And once you hit like this weird era of, we eventually, in a couple of years, we all have the internet. Everyone has the internet, no matter what. And then by 2006, we're starting to get internet in our pockets and cameras where we go. And movies kind of have to change with times. They're going to be modern, and the way technology has evolved has sort of ruined some stories. That, like, a story like this can never be made again, unless you set it in 1998.
Yeah.
But I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing, because this movie shouldn't exist to begin with.
It felt like a contractually obligated movie.
Yeah. It's so weird that it came out in theaters. I tried to do some research on this. There's nothing. There's nothing. I just feel like this was probably a made-for-TV movie that pivoted its way to theaters due to Jonathan Taylor Thomas being Jonathan Taylor Thomas. On top of, you have Jessica Biel and what's his nose, like you have the Seventh Heaven.
Yeah,
is as hot as it's ever been at this point, and
it's the WB era of One Tree Hill and whatever. Yeah.
So and it just oozes that era of television. Every ounce of this movie oozes that era of television. So
do you think it was, because I don't know if it felt like it was maybe more a Disney Channel intended movie, because that's when Disney Channel was kind of leaning towards teens, when they had brought back the Mickey Mouse Club. They were re-airing the ones with Timberlake and Aguilera.
Because again, this movie ends with an NSYNC song. Everyone has NSYNC hair in this movie.
Yes,
it's very clear. It's very clear.
Sideburns, dude.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's very clear, this movie. If you didn't know when this movie came out, you started watching it, you're like, oh, this movie came out in 1998. There'd be no question about it. Like, the only way this movie could have been more 1998 is if like 2 or 3 dudes like were wearing an Austin 316 and NWO t-shirt. Like,
yes,
that's
exactly.
The only way this could have been more, or like some guy, just like one of the kids in the college, high school, like walking down, turns to Jonathan Taylor Thomas and does like a crotch chop to him or something.
Or you would see like somebody going, respect my authority.
It's like some kid walking around with like doodling South Park characters on their notebooks. God,
what a strange time, my friend.
What a strange weird. This movie is really a time capsule,
which should be buried.
I'm glad. The downside to watching this is that the Disney Plus is probably going to suggest all of these movies from here on out.
Oh, like, it already did.
Like the algorithm is like, oh, wow. I'll Be Home for Christmas had a 200% increase in viewership this week.
It immediately recommended that Anna Kendrick one, Noelle.
Yes, me too. At the end of it, like, okay, you just finished watching this. Now, would you like to watch Noelle? No.
No, I wouldn't.
No, absolutely not. I'm going to go and watch Iron Man 3, a real Christmas movie.
Yes.
Speaking of Christmas movies, Rocky 4 director's cut available now on Vudu and all of your digital platforms.
I mean, look, it is, all things considered, it is a better version. Rocky 4. You don't miss the robot.
No. And it's a Christmas movie. It takes place at Christmas in the snow. There's extended snow.
He gets a tan in the snow.
Yeah.
He fights in Christmas Day for no money.
And topples the Berlin Wall single-handedly with his fists. But also, the very next movie loses everything because of this fight. So that's good. Really feel good really feel good story.
Yeah, because he let Polly be in charge of his money.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. The drunk that has been nothing but antagonistic towards you
Yeah.
across 4 movies up to this.
Who turned your robot into a sex robot?
Yeah. But, you know, I think leaving it on a Rocky 4 sex joke is the best
Yes.
way we could possibly say Merry Christmas,
And
Happy Holidays, uh,
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah, Pierre Noel, whatever the hell.
Yes.
Uh,
Ramadan.
happy,
Kwanzaa.
a tip top tet, and a solemn, dignified.
Whatever you prefer.
Yeah. No, that remember Krusty the Clown doing his whole crazy Kwanzaa.
Yeah,
Tip
Krusty's
top tet.
crazy. Yes. Oh God.
And a solemn dignified. I forget what the last one is. Probably Ramadan.
You know, JJ, we've done this for 4 years now.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell somebody to go back and watch anything that we've covered in the past, what would you say?
You mean Christmas movie wise or just movie wise?
Previous 3 years we've done this Christmas episode.
Mickey's Christmas Carol.
I agree.
I think the Muppets Christmas Carol is good, but it's heavily played.
Yeah.
The Saturday morning cartoons are just sort of a nostalgia dump. They're just fun to watch. There's no, none of them are particularly great. I think the Mickey's Christmas Carol is a really genuinely sort of cute,
yes, it is.
Of rarely seen anime because there's no really real place to put it outside of a digital platform. Disney doesn't really have like the Disney Channel isn't built for that anymore.
No.
And so yeah, it's easier to access than ever. I think it's a really good Christmas story.
It used to be hard to find too.
It used to be hard to find, yeah.
They would you'd run it on TV once in a while,
yeah. Yeah, it was like back in the day where it's like, oh, you want to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Well, you better be home Thursday at 7 on this one day.
Yes.
That's when you're going to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It used to be like that. Like, if you want to watch Mickey's Christmas Carol, you better A, have the Disney Channel, and B, be awake at like 11:30 at night when we crack open Vault Disney.
Yes.
And then after that, an episode of Zorro will be on.
And Spinning Marty.
Spinning Marty, Scarecrow and Mrs. King or something.
The Scarecrow, Romney Marsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one. That one.
I agree. Go. You know what? Don't watch this movie.
No.
Don't watch Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Absolutely.
Or The Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus.
If
you're gonna watch a home improvement based Christmas film, The Santa Claus, if you can separate Tim Allen from it in your mind, then yeah.
Yeah.
I still like the Santa Claus, that first one.
The
sequels do nothing. The sequels do nothing for me, but that original Santa Claus is so fun.
It is still really good, and
yeah.
That the kid who plays his son in the second movie.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to him?
Yeah, I don't know.
He had a crazy growth spurt. Or you know what? Disney Plus, as JJ mentioned earlier, has like shit like Home Alone 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Both great movies.
Yes. Do not watch the new Home Alone. It's very bad.
Oh, I tried.
Yeah.
It's freaking rotten.
Yeah.
You hate the kid.
It's funny how in that movie they have the like a future remake of the gangster movie that they watch in it, and I'm just like that's the joke, and it's just kind of like, who cares? Like it's like, why try to make some sort of weird connected? And you make a joke. They make a joke like, oh, the new one is never as good as the original. Yeah. No shit.
Dude, we're aware.
We're aware. We're fully aware. We're watching this, and like they knew making this movie that was going to be hated and nobody was going to like it, but they did it anyways.
If you want to watch a movie, you know what? If you have HBO Max, watch 8-Bit Christmas. It's all right. It's not great.
Yeah.
But it's...
Do you remember the Home Alone that I always forget the name of that gangster movie in it? I know it's like
Angels with Filthy Souls.
Angels with Filthy Souls. It's so funny that movie appears in the Detective Pikachu movie.
It does. Yes. Yeah.
For no reason, absolutely no reason. But they're like watching it at one point in that. It's like, so Detective Pikachu takes place in the Home Alone universe?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Have Macaulay Culkin be in Detective Pikachu too.
Yeah.
That's a good movie too. Detective Pikachu is actually a good movie.
It is a great movie.
Yeah. There's only been like 2 good video game movies, and it's that, and I think Sonic the Hedgehog is a good video game movie too. So
Wait, let me think. Are we counting the new Mortal Kombat? Because I like it.
I like it, but it's not good.
It's good enough.
Yeah. And we don't count things like Wreck-It Ralph or Tron because those are just video game based movies, not or video game like influenced movies, not video game.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so go watch Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Go watch Home Alone. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Home Alone still has one of my most used lines of all time in my day-to-day life comes from Home Alone. And it's when the uncle says, "Look what you did, you little jerk."
Yes.
In that delivery, I use that all the time. Fantastic line.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah, it's a good line.
And
people recognize it too. So
the one I use a lot, oddly enough, is from Home Alone 2. And
yeah.
I just go, "We love you," in the Tim Curry voice.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good
We
one.
love you.
So you know what? Another short one, but that's much you can talk about this movie.
Yeah, it sucks, but
we will be back with what again next time we're here? We just did Moana.
I believe it's Frozen.
Frozen 2?
Frozen Uno.
No, we've already done Frozen.
Have you done Frozen?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it is Frozen 2 then, right?
I know you gotta make me look it up. Walt Disney.
No, I think you're right. It's Frozen 2.
I'm pretty sure it's Frozen 2, but again,
you're Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh no!
It's Ralph Breaks the Internet. That's our next one. I think I forgot the Frozen episode.
I don't want to watch Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Have you already watched it?
What?
You've already watched it though, right?
Yes, but I have to watch it. I have to watch it again because I don't remember anything about it.
Just go off whatever headcanon you got going on, and that'll be making the episode more interesting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start making up stories about Ralph Breaks the Internet.
So there's a part where the hot coffee cup mod's in it. It's weird.
Yeah. There's no video games in Ralph Breaks the Internet. It is just a bunch of bad internet jokes. So we got Ralph Breaks the Internet, Frozen 2, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Encanto. Those are our...
Which I've not seen yet.
I've not seen. I was gonna see it, but then you know how it is. It's the holidays. It's hard to go see movies. I saw the Resident Evil movie, but I couldn't go see Encanto.
Yeah, it was. I go see Encanto, but I'd rather go see Spider-Man.
Yes, I've got my tickets, baby.
Me too.
Let's go. I've got like multiple days worth of tickets. So
you're going,
and I get an NFT because
you're going to
AMC theaters are a bunch of buttholes.
I got a weird.
It's an eco-friendly NFT, Nick.
Oh, okay. So
it's okay. It's free, so that's how you know they're really valuable and worth something.
I got a weird NFT for because I'm going to a Regal cinema to see it because it was the only place with 2 seats next to each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you got a Regal crown. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I got 2 NFTs from Warner Brothers / DC Comics. So yeah. They're just hanging out. They're just like, congratulations, here's your NFTs. What? Click on it. It's claimed. You're like, oh, God bless it. I don't want these. And they're worth nothing. They're not like real NFTs. It's not like those. It's not like I have any value to them. They're just giving them out to everyone. It's like, so thank you for wasting all these resources on a freaking GIF. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but the important thing is that several mining operations happened and help kill this planet a little bit faster.
There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful way to say ho, ho, ho. Happy holiday. Have a magical day. We'll see you next time.